Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the Future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor Podcast. I love that. Yo. Your clothes get wet. Yo, guys, welcome to Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
And this is episode 73. Yo, that was a vibe to come into, right?
I love it. I forget.
You mentioned Mean Girls, like this, like I think right before they're about to go into like the Halloween party or something like that, where it just drops.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's then or when you go into like the high school or something like that, but I always remembered.
Me too.
I was like, do people actually know that this is like a Missy Elliot song and people listen to it? Because it's just that one like transition, but like I don't know, but that's like the last time I ever really heard it. Was in Mean Girls.
Kind of same here.
Yeah, but I actually like that was from an album. I think it's like This Is Not an Alarm or something like that. But this is from an album that I probably listened to like 10 albums growing up, and Missy Elliott was one of them. Wow. So we'll get into why we're playing some Missy Elliott and also the Michael Jackson reference in there. But yo,
it all ties together.
It all comes together. It'll make sense. Don't worry. But how are you, V?
You know what I am?
Yo,
the ace.
you didn't check that AC, but it always happens when I'm asking you what you.
I mean, like I was about to tell you, and then we were getting ready, and you were sitting here.
Yo, what's the show like, V? Or what's been going on? How are you? What's going on?
So this past weekend, I had our friend's birthday party. Zach Celia, we call him Gumby. Shout out to him, I guess. Shout
out to Gumby.
It was his.
What's up, Zach?
It was his birthday party this past weekend. I went to that, but before I even got there, I had been down on the Beltline drinking, having a good time. Okay. Before that, I had been at the pool drinking, having a good time. It was a long day for me.
Oh, no.
It was a long day.
Did it end all right?
Oh, it ended fine. Okay. The next day, I was like, well.
You're paying for it. Sunday was a rest day.
Well, because I don't really get hungover, like, ever. But I think my fatal flaw was I was mixing, like, all the alcohols. Mm-hmm.
How was the party? Was there a lot of people there?
There was a lot of people. I was there till 4 a.m. It was a thing.
Oh, my goodness.
I was there too late.
Who do I know that was there besides, like, the people?
I mean, John V.
Oh, no.
And Anne-Marie and David.
What?
Yeah.
That sucks. Anyways.
So, I mean, yeah, but it was a fun time.
I hate when people have fun without me. You know?
Oh, but you had plenty of fun without me.
Yeah, I ended up.
Tell me about it.
Well, actually, the funniest part is it's like, Colorado is like 2 hours ahead of or behind us, so we're 2 hours ahead here.
Yeah.
So flying there, you like leave at 7:30 at night and you get there and it's 8:30 and but like literally it's been like a whole thing. So like we got there and it's just like chilling, and then the next day was like the Red Rocks with Dave Chappelle and Jon Stewart, which was awesome.
That's such an interesting venue for them. I love it.
It was crazy, like to kind of like sit there with so many people like at the dopest venue and just like talk. They're like even like, this is crazy. I can't believe we're here like talking to you guys. Like this is it's insane. Like it's like this like Red Rocks like amphitheater with just like beauty and like mountains and like fields and stuff like behind it. So that was dope. The only like shitty part about it was like I had to get like a picture outside of the Red Rocks because like they lock your phone up since it's a comedy show.
Oh yeah, they do that. Yeah, because
so
a lot of them could be being filmed for like specials or shit, and like then it's just like,
I don't know how I feel about it. Like I don't like people that film like the whole time, especially for like stuff like that. But like, it kind of sucks. Like I guess I do want to take a picture if I want to inside there. Like,
it's just like they can't have you posting that before like the actual shit for that show is like released.
I know. I was just trying to get a picture. That was all, but it sucks. I got all the way there just to be like, what? Hold on, I gotta lock my phone up, and then they give you this pouch that you have to like hold on to.
So it's like yeah,
it's super inconvenient.
Yeah, like so close yet so far.
Right, and it literally was far. Like you had to hike up a mountain and shit.
Wait,
but,
yeah,
it's crazy. But It was fun. So pretty much just chilled. I had both my friends Heath and Heath out there. So shout out to them. Ironically, like
what?
I feel like
okay. First of all,
yeah.
You know, if you're like friend like Krispy Kreme and then like Cool Whip, Heath and Heath, like Heath bars. Are you fucking kidding me?
Heath is like P and P or M&M. Yo, that's crazy. But yeah, like now that you say it, Heath and Heath sounds crazy. But I mean, I feel like Heath is such a like rare name. I don't know.
Yeah, because the only thing I know named Heath is literally the candy bar.
Or Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
I know, like, I met a Heath, like, you know, recently and stuff, but I got two friends named Heath, and I hung out with both of them this weekend.
At the same time?
The same damn time, yeah. So yeah, it was cool. So I had a good time, came back, and I was
It was easy. You could just say one name.
Yeah, the Heaths. But that's a lot of, like...
Yeah, it's
but
great.
anyways, I don't know, like just the trip itself was like really exhausting. So just being able to hang out with them, caught that show, got to just be around them all weekend.
That sounds cool.
So, yeah, I had a good time. So
what else did you like do besides the show?
Just hung out. We like cooked out. We, you know, played games in his backyard, watched movies, and just, you know, really just, it was just nice to be around them. Like really when I'm like around my friends, like I don't like to do much. Like I just like to be around them and just
I don't know. I guess I've never been to Colorado, so like I would need to explore more.
Yeah, I mean I plan to go back. It's definitely a dope ass place. Like we went to go to this dope ass pizza place, and it was what.
People are like, Colorado, it's beautiful, the mountains, hiking, skiing, whatever. And you're like, yeah, no. Or like even like breweries. And you're like, yeah, no, we went to this dope ass pizza place. Which is like so you though.
I know, I love pizza.
I know.
Yeah, so we went to this dope ass pizza place. I put a Future Bachelor sticker like right on the fountain drinks like ice thing right there. Yeah. It was awesome. But where was I going with this? Oh, we were walking outside and it was like really hot, and it was
which is weird for the there,
right? But I mean, it was like the humidity wasn't like, I felt like I was an X-Man or something like that, like
because there isn't humidity,
right?
there.
Like something that I would walk like to my car, like here in Atlanta,
yeah,
like walking to the Uber, like leaving Atlanta to go to Colorado. And
yeah, it's hot as fuck this week. I'm sure like you're like
in
shell
the 90s.
shocked.
Yeah, I was in the 90s and I was like, why am I not sweating?
Yeah,
like, I don't understand. So
it's like same with the cold there. Like I have, I don't know if that's my phone or yours.
That's fine, but don't worry about it.
But I don't. There's like definitely my friend who's from Colorado, when she like we went to school together at Mizzou, and like it would get fucking cold as hell. Like we'd get snow, and there was like one winter where it was like negatives, and she was like, why does this feel so much colder? Like I skied in -11. I'm like, that's -11 Colorado. You have no moisture, so that's not reaching to your bones. That's a whole different game.
Yeah,
girl.
no, for real. I know exactly what that is now. So
you're like, wow, what is this like?
Right.
Without being suffocated by moisture in the air.
Right. But yeah, and I also like, it was just like a cool getaway. But I'm excited to just be hanging out for like the next couple weekends here in town. So why don't we just get into some, I don't know, quick hits?
Yeah, you're like planes. Fuck them.
Yeah, no, I know. Like, let's get this plane out of the way. But what do we got for some quick hits?
All right. So I'll get into our biggest news in a second.
Why don't we start with why we played Missy
that's
Elliott.
what I was about to say.
Okay, cool.
So Missy Elliott, the VMA Awards are like in a month or so. MTV VMA Awards. And then there's always been, well, not always, but always. There's been a big award been called this for the past 30 years, the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award. And it's like,
it used to be just called like the Video Vanguard Award,
or like career achievement kind of.
It was like lifetime achievement award, but they don't do it every year. Like it's just like when they decide to like honor somebody.
To someone.
Right. So continue.
They're doing our girl. Missy Elliott.
Oh, she's getting round of applause for her.
So that's why I perfectly picked that song that even had a Michael Jackson reference.
Right. I didn't even
you didn't know that, but we knew.
I knew I wanted to play Missy Elliott songs, so I started going through all the ones that I thought I liked and stuff, and that was just the one that was just like, and then I started listening to it, and it was like Michael Jackson. I was like, what? It has to play. So
you're like serendipity.
Yeah, sometimes it just comes to me, you know. But that's kind of how things work on this
work
show.
here at the Future Bachelor LLC. Is it an LLC?
Yeah, we got that. But anywho, yeah. So I mean, it's also interesting because we were looking up like the history of it and
of the award. Yeah,
Michael Jackson won the Video Vanguard Award in 1988, and then they ended up giving it to Bon Jovi and somebody else in 91,
which is the year that they renamed it Michael Jackson. Which, okay, I thought it was interesting that they would rename it to Michael Jackson and only 91 because like that was like right around when he put out Off the Wall. I think it was like,
I mean, you can't disregard that he was in Jackson 5.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I guess so, but I just feel like
he'd already accomplished so much like by that age. But you're right, as an individual like artist, as Michael Jackson, like he had just conquered through, I guess, that decade. He was just about to start another like run of a decade.
I guess so.
You're right. Like, but I still think that's crazy. That's like, I don't know, naming something like the Justin Timberlake Video Vanguard Award or something like that.
Right? Like I
don't
feel
know.
like
It doesn't feel...
and then it only a couple years after he got it, and then just name it that.
Like the Post Malone video.
Yeah, literally. Like,
but I don't know why I'm like making Post Malone. Maybe like the Drake, like the Drake Video Vanguard Award or something. But that all sounds crazy when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
But there was a little backlash about like the fact that it's named that now, and all this stuff
just
has come out.
everything.
So I don't know what to think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like
I mean, I don't think
the dude is not. I mean, he's never been convicted of anything. Like
I mean, he's dead, so he can't be.
Right, not anymore. He can't speak for himself or defend himself against. So I think maybe, I don't know. I guess their only issue with it would be to have to like denounce. So you're kind of taking a stand on it. But I think you could spin it to the fact like of being like, we just want to like normalize it again. Like, what I'm saying, like he had a good run of the award and, it being named after him. But now we just kind of want to standardize it. We don't want to offend anybody. And if it's as easy as just taking his name off something, I think that's a doable thing.
Yeah,
they're like removing statues and stuff of people like hundreds of years later and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense for. I mean, there had been years where it was just called, other things, and so it's not weird if they took away that part of the name, and I feel like it doesn't hold as much weight now, anyways. So
right,
yeah.
I don't know if Michael Jackson's going to continue to go down the trajectory of history that we all once thought. But what else we got? Speaking
of other, award-winning stars known for being viral at the VMAs, Taylor Swift. She was viral again in a different way. Herb just, this kind of humanized her again for me. Because there's a video of her that came out on the internet where she was, little drizzly, little tipsy,
like oops. Oops.
She was feeling herself.
Okay.
And it's a video of her like singing and dancing drunkenly to like her own song. So it was great.
Hold on, was she by herself or was she with people?
No, she was like with people.
Okay,
she's like song? It looks like she's like at I think it's Me. I don't know if it's Me or if it's whatever the other new one is called. That's how much I give a shit about those songs. Yeah. But it was, she was definitely with people like hanging out. It looks like she probably was like out at like either some nice dinner afterward, dinner bar lounge situation. Or she was like sitting on something and looked like there's tables. But it's like a lot of memes came out of it. But like some of them were kind of funny, just like talking about like, more like some of the like the basic bitch kind of memes, being like, blah 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 says she's not gonna have this many drinks, and then blah blah blah, like didn't want to go out, and like whatever. So it's
like 4 hours later, singing your own song. But those are funny, always funny. They've been coming out with some really funny ones, like say I'm just gonna go out for one drink, and then like 4 a.m. you're just like putting your head through a door or something. But
I thought
I think that'd be me as an artist. Like I don't like how like I
feel like you always see the artists.
No, you see people like Gwyneth Paltrow. Have you saw that article like a week or two ago where she like somebody that was like in the movie with her? I think it was like the dude that it's the guy that plays the Winter Soldier, Bucky. Whatever.
Oh, Sebastian Stan.
Yeah,
he's so hot.
He's the son of Luke Skywalker, I think. What's his name? The guy that plays Luke Skywalker.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I don't know if he is. Maybe.
Mark Hamill, yeah. I think that's his son. But anyways, he was talking about like he was in a movie with Gwyneth Paltrow, and Gwyneth Paltrow didn't even like know who he was. Like they were like taking a photo shoot together.
Okay, I mean like Gwyneth Paltrow
that means
is
she
like
doesn't even watch her own
the
movies.
prissiest bitch ever.
I'm just saying, she doesn't even watch her movies.
Have you ever read anything she tries to put off as like her best like whatever like products you need on Goop?
No.
Like it's
what
like.
The hell is Goop?
Goop is her whole brand.
Oh, yeah,
you don't, like she like literally like was trying to sell like $1,000 jade eggs to put up your vagine.
Okay. So, well, Gwyneth Paltrow. I never want to get like that.
She's like has no touch with like
well,
reality.
I like that Taylor Swift. Like she seems like the type that would be like that. Yeah. And like Taylor Swift is singing her own songs. I feel like that's dope. You're right.
And as continuing her good human duties, I might not like her music. I might be over her, but she's trying to be a good human now, which like I guess I can't totally fault her for that. She's also like trying to get her like Swiftie army all to like channel a lot of their support towards a lot of the different things, movements, etc. that's happening with getting UNS women national team, etc. paid equally. So she's definitely trying to ride her like now political train until it just busts through all the stations. But like I think good stuff could be coming from it, so I can't be mad. I feel like
that's how I feel about Kim Kardashian, like doing like the whole like law stuff.
Like,
it's like I can't even make fun of that.
Use your platform for good. I just wish that Taylor Swift didn't take her so fucking long.
Something. Speaking of like, did you see the news about A$AP Rocky actually getting convicted?
Yeah.
Of all that stuff.
Yeah, but he's not gonna like serve any prison time.
No, but still, like that's stupid. Like. Yeah. What, so do you know anything about it or just like
I heard about it on the I mean like he won't get prison time. He's been convicted of like whatever different levels of assault for the fight, but it was
in Sweden.
Yeah, but it was I guess I don't know how they're doing that. I mean, I think it's probably still like a little racist. Yeah. Because I think it was the other people who picked the fight. I don't remember the full story, but
it's like home court advantage. But that sucks. But at least he's home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I know, because the president tried to do what he could.
Right.
The president was tweeting about it. And then I loved how Justin Bieber threw back in his face, like being like, I'm happy you're caring about man, like in our community, the music community, but like, what about the kids in cages, Mr. President? I was like, damn, Biebs.
Well, now that we kind of got all caught up with A$AP Rocky, do you refrigerate your ketchup?
Oh boy.
What a segue. Or do you keep your ketchup out?
I refrigerate my ketchup.
I do too.
Because I get worried.
Yeah. Also, I think you mention that it says it on the bottle.
And I'm a stickler for labels. Mm-hmm. Like if it's like do not refrigerate, whatever. But yeah, on the label it says refrigerate after opening.
I feel like all sauces should be refrigerated.
Not hot sauces. They don't have to be refrigerated.
Well, okay. Even those though, I refrigerate.
I don't. But
really?
Yeah.
Why? Do you like it to just be like warm sauce on your?
Well, if it's just sitting in like my pantry, like it's not like gonna be hot.
I don't know. I just feel like you're just kind of it's kind of like the opposite of the ketchup.
The ketchup has more stuff in it that can make it go bad, though.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you've researched both the ketchup and the hot sauce.
Well, yeah, it depends on like some hot sauces say like you should like sriracha I would put more in like a.
But people don't. Like that's what I'm saying. Like people, I've known people that keep their ketchup out. And it's fine. And like I was saying, restaurants like keep kind of ketchup out all day and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I think they pull them in though.
They might not last as long. They just kind of fill them up. Like,
yeah, I don't know, but I know because Cardi B started this whole debate because she said something about it, and everybody replied. She said, anybody who refrigerates their ketchup can't be trusted. And like everyone's like literally, replying with pictures of the labels being like, "Oh, Cardi, it says though." And but I can.
So she's against refrigerating.
Yeah, Cardi says no refrigeration.
It might be like a New York thing or something.
She says she would keep it on top of the fridge. And then ready for her morning eggs, which my thing is like I don't put ketchup on eggs.
So that's a whole different one. I was about to bring up like another example of something where like I feel like
you only put ketchup on shitty ass eggs.
Yeah, but those are the arguments that like you will never understand because like you're either one side or the other, and the other side just doesn't make sense.
Kind of like when you should pour like milk or cereal and that whole thing.
Okay, that one is just ridiculous. You're definitely supposed to put the milk after the cereal.
Yeah, that's what I think. And so Some people are really no. And then
well, then how do you know how much cereal to put?
See people like argue the other way. Like they're like, well, now I know like how much to pour. Like or
actually, you know what?
Like
though?
And then you could pour.
Sometimes
I do good arguments to both.
I do think actually like you pour more milk if you put the cereal in first. Because you know what I'm saying, like
you can't see it, but I feel like it would be just a whole game of other. I don't know. I don't even like.
Actually,
cereal.
you don't need as much milk in your cereal as you think. That's what I'm trying to say.
It depends on your taste. Some people like that mushy shit, which is disgusting.
Dude, I can't stand it when I see someone like get a bowl of cereal and leave it sitting there for like a couple minutes. I'm like, dude, your cereal's getting warm. You know what I'm saying though? Like, if someone can eat a bowl of cereal over 20 minutes, I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you?
That's so wrong.
I don't understand it. I don't know. I just got back into cereal actually.
I don't even like cereal.
I swear.
I don't think in my entire I've never bought cereal.
Right.
I don't buy cereal. I only ate cereal when I was a kid, but I was a weirdo. I liked Kix and I liked multigrain Cheerios. I did like Reese's Puffs because those
That's the one I got, dude. Those are my favorite. High five. I swear to God. This is the best cereal ever. And I also like Raisin Bran Crunch. I don't know why.
See, like, yeah,
That's my weird cereal.
See, like, yeah, I like bland as like adult cereal.
Right. That was a pretty funny little tangent we went on there. But it is funny though. Like, so that's insane. Ketchup. Shout out to everybody that does it either way. Like, we love you both ways.
I might do a poll in our stories.
That's a good poll. I like it. All right. So what is this Spotify? This is something we should have talked about internally, huh?
This is something. Okay, but it's like so. Spotify is really trying to go hard in the podcast paint.
Yeah.
Trying to make it easy for more creators. Like, I mean, podcast is such a poppin' medium.
Yeah.
That, you know, trying to make it easier for creators, trying to make them the place you want to be if you're a podcaster. Because they just did Spotify for podcasts. So if anybody that's a podcast creator owner person that has stuff on Spotify, you have the ability to access Spotify for podcasts, which is supposed to be kind of like their Spotify for artists. So like the kind of dashboard that, you know, artists like.
But the artist one failed.
No, but you could still access it.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the beta, like, you can do the beta, but those are usually, like, the testing, like,
I thought the artist one is still, like, I think artist is, like, a thing. I don't think it's, like, in beta.
They stopped doing that. Like, by a certain day, all music, like, they stopped doing it. But
like, it's, like, the artist, that's
are you
what
saying
they
that, like,
say.
Spotify, like, you'd only be on Spotify through this provider, though?
No. Like, this is just, like, it's like, something you access as, like, part of, like, we already, like, as people who are a podcast creator, we could access this.
Oh, okay. So interesting. So I gotta check it out because like that is one thing that is really dumb about podcasts right now. But it's also
because like they don't show like this would show like, you know, metrics about your audience and how people are playing.
But I think like right now podcasts, even though it's like been around for a while, people are just starting to get onto it. Like, you know, when we started a podcast, it was like, oh my God, we're starting a podcast. But now you hear about people that are starting podcasts now. And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe how late you waited to. But like anyone can start a podcast, like, you know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is like that's kind of how like it was when like YouTube first started. And YouTube, you could pretty much put anything you want on there. And then when they started like really monetizing like the metrics of it and like putting ads and then suggesting videos to you and algorithms and you know, it stopped being like the Wild West where you could post like, you know, they had restrictions on the music you could use and stuff you could use inside of your videos. So right now with podcasts, it's like the Wild West like it was back then. And we're able to use music and songs that like, you know, would usually get taken down if on YouTube or like, you know, and all that stuff. So
like
and also
copyright stuff.
Right. But also I feel like that's because like you can't get the metrics as easily as you can.
Like the data.
Right. Like, you know, people ask me all the time, like, how many subscribers do you have?
Oh, people ask that shit all the time.
There's no real way.
And I was like, if I knew, I would know.
Right. There's like with podcasts, you can't really, besides like if we monitored like right when we drop an episode how many downloads we get in like the next minute.
Yeah, but
that's
like
the only way. I know we drop at 4 a.m. I'm not gonna like check at 4:01 to see like how many people downloaded, because like people who subscribe would automatically get a download of like the podcast. But that's just behind the curtain type stuff. It just sucks to have right. Like it sucks because you have to kind of get your audience different ways. Like, look how many views I have on YouTube. Look how many like followers we have on Instagram.
Like, yeah. So yeah, it's hard to like tell actually like, oh, this is
So yeah. So that's just
so
good
this
for
would
a
change
podcast.
the game because like Apple Podcasts and things like that on like the owner creator side, they don't show that much of that or anything. So. Could really change the game.
That's what's up.
Speaking of changing the game, spiked seltzers have changed the alcohol game.
Yes, they've changed the drinking game for me. It's almost like, kind of like when I was smoking cigarettes and then I switched to the Juul, and now that I don't like smoke the Juul at all, like it's like, oh. And then I was drinking beer, switched to like the seltzers, and then I was just like, I don't even know. Like, I literally didn't drink that much this weekend. Like,
I really don't like seltzers unless, like, I mean, I like seltzers for more of a, like, I'm at a pool. I'm like, I don't need to be drinking a seltzer all the time, like, because I like beer. But...
yeah, I've been just drinking the seltzers all the time. Unless there's, like, a place where, like, a bar that only has beer.
See, the problem is I like so many alcohols. Right. But Natty Light and Four Loko have entered the chat. So... Natty Light, they already try to hop on more of the, like, they did Natter Day, so it was like, a natty lemonade mix, like their version of that. And then now they're like, fuck it, we're going to keep going with it. We're going to do something else that maybe would be typically more feminine. Because I think they were going based off of, like, their audience. Their audience was like frat boys.
Yeah, they're like the chubbies of beer.
Yeah, gross.
Or that's what they're trying to do. Like, I can see, like, with their promotional stuff.
Yeah,
like,
their marketing language now is definitely, like, similar to Chubbies. And, like, so obviously their audience is the same. Primarily
I think they just need, like, a logo and, like, look rebrand, like, for a younger generation. It's just, like...
But I feel like that Natty logo is, like, classic.
Well, okay. So have, like, 2 different versions. Like, you can sell 2 covers at once, couldn't you?
I guess, yeah.
The old ones, like the old people can get the old Natural Light, and then the new kids can, because like it just looks corny. It looks like a shitty logo of like
well, it's
Natural
a
Light.
shitty fucking beer. I'm not trying to buy it.
No. Anyways,
you only buy it because it's cheap.
But do you think this will be shitty?
The Natty, I'm not gonna try Natty Light seltzer.
I know there's too many now. It's like like when the scooters kept going. It's like you don't even want to try like the 5th new scooter.
I don't.
Like,
Yeah,
I only stick to the bird and
black. Yeah, and so Four Loko's creating theirs too, which I honestly don't know how Four Loko stays around because like I know like technically their shit got like outlawed, but they still did their shit a different way. I don't really know how they do it.
It doesn't matter because I feel like a lot of people don't know that they took out the stuff that originally was what made it Four Loko.
I mean, I don't know who wouldn't know that, but they just
kids that buy it.
I don't know,
like the kids skater kids that buy that and
now
Doritos.
Kids. I love Doritos. But they have one coming out too, but that one's gonna be like nearly triple the percentage. It's like 14-15%. These are mostly like 5 or 6.
Yeah, they're getting out of control.
Like you're gonna see some.
I don't trust them anymore.
Like 18-year-old girls are gonna be just like strewn about. Like think about it. Like you get some of those little tiny things. Like who some of them are already drinking Four Locos and dying. Like they're gonna get one of those.
I don't know. Everyone needs to look out for themselves.
Well, yeah, no, but I'm just saying. Obviously, yeah, they're not even supposed to be drinking them. But I'm saying that's.
What is it?
That's who it's marketed
the strongest
to.
will rise to the top.
Okay,
Darwinism. The cream of the crop. All right, cool. That's what's up. Well, what made you go yikes this week? What?
We didn't even get to the main thing.
What happened?
Miley and this could honestly be a main fucking topic.
Okay,
there's a lot that
oh shoot. Okay.
There's a lot that we could go into. So we're gonna save it. I'm gonna do yikes. I'm gonna be yikesy.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about it.
Okay, then what made you go yikes this week?
Are you gonna ask it at least one more time? No. Wow. No. It's a new week. Usually.
Just tell me what made you go yikes this week.
All right. So there's this movie, The Hunt.
Uh-huh.
It's a Blumhouse thriller production situation. Supposed to come
These
out.
guys like made The Purge.
They made all those movies that I don't like.
I think like Paranormal Activity, those type of stuff.
Movies that like for my little overactive imagination can't do. Plus I just hate whatever.
Okay.
I go on for days about how much I hate The Purge. But movie called The Hunt, where it's pretty much the basis of it is that there's like a day where you can hunt deplorables, and it's mostly like urban elites that are hunting people. These are all people.
Explain what a deplorable is.
A deplorable, Well, I mean, I don't know. You explain. I don't know what you want me to say.
Well, I mean, like, so if someone were like, all right, they're hunting deplorables, what would they be like? Or what's a deplorable?
I don't.
The way, all right. So I honestly am asking, but
yeah, I mean, I don't really know exact. I just was reading that.
Because I was reading, it was like, yeah, it was like.
Because I know there's a whole controversy with like Fox News or whatever, because I don't know if it was like supposed to be deplorables were more people who didn't support, you know.
Well, yeah, they're like hunting people that are like MAGA supporters, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it wasn't exclusively that, but it's kind of, I mean, like, it was, but that's like
my best way I can.
Yeah, that was like kind of what it was supposed to be. Is that it was supposed to be, you know. Which, like, if you look at it in a Trump way, then, like, Trump's like, okay, whatever. But then it's, like, even more controversial now because it's, like, just hunting deplorable people, which that whole idea relates to the mass shootings that happened.
Yeah.
And so then they decided to pull it from even being before it was even going to be released. So they say that they might be postponing its release, but I don't really know if you can, like, come back from like pulling it and be like, now is the right time, you know, like when is, like, how do you deem, I think we
were talking about it last week, like, you know, those are the type of things that are adding to society's like desensitizing of seeing things like that, you know.
Well, I don't think like I don't think that's a bad thing. I think like I don't think we need to be, I think we're already desensitized to violence, and we're desensitized to, like, we're desensitized to even the amount of mass shootings that happen. So like pulling something like that, I don't think that means like then we're like we're too sensitive to see something like that. I think it's saying that this is just forwarding a narrative of folks that are hateful, and it's just like forwarding, right. It's like continuing throwing images that are happening instead of doing things about them.
I agree. You're right. I mean, it's just like you're just kind of trying to capitalize on society's hate on the MAGA hat and Trump,
or just
and
like
stuff.
This in general, like society's like.
But I mean, like what are we like trying to say though? Like, it's just kind of like, it's just like each thing is eating each other. Like,
well, yeah,
you know?
both. So like this movie, like its release could be taken the way of like, oh, people hating on MAGA supporters, but it also now could be taken the way of like deplorables. Like there's a subset of people who are lesser, and that people like, especially like in this sense, like urban elites, like those are people who don't like in some senses, or have been found to not like, and then be violent towards like immigrants, yeah, or things like that. So it's now kind of like, also
it's just kind of like glorifying people just taking a gun and going and mass murdering,
like it's people. Yeah, shooting people for sport,
right?
Where it's like
that's not even funny. That's
not funny. It was supposed to be satirical, but that's like really, really super dark satire, especially for the fact that like literally people are in this moment writing manifestos, right, about why certain groups of people should be killed.
I mean, it's kind of like taking The Purge even a step further. Like that has a pretty political agenda and stuff like that, an undertone, but that's the way you do it. Like you don't. I don't know. This seems too far. This seems too far
because it's very much more specific of like The Purge is like all crime. So people like go and kill people that
anybody, like
they kill whatever because they can, / like, you know, it's supposed to show like this is what the humans like would do like if we didn't have any rules.
Right.
And it's like, you know, the whole idea that maybe like if it was somebody who wronged them or like whatever, I don't fucking care. I hate The Purge. But this is more so like very directly being like there's a subgroup of people that a larger other group doesn't like, and we can't wait for it, like, because like even part of the trailer or whatever is like, oh, I can't wait for the hunt day for us to kill the deplorables. Like it's very much so like driven specifically like group I don't know, I feel like it's more.
Anyways, I don't know if it'll see the light of day.
I don't know how you decide when's a good time to release it after something like that. Like, I don't think you can.
Okay. So let's get into what you were about to talk about. Mini topic
surrounding Miley and Liam.
Okay.
Miley Cyrus and Liam are officially donezo. I know, I'm kind of upset about it. They had been together for, you know, like over 10 years.
Honestly, when they got back together, I I was like, this is not gonna last. They look like two different people. Like,
but
they literally are.
I mean, and like Miley came out a lot about how, like, you know, it was definitely like a different situation. When she even came out as pansexual, she said, you know, like, some people don't understand how I could be like married and a wife, and like, but I still, like, she's like, I don't use the word wife, like, that's not like who I am, but like, you know, I made a decision. This doesn't mean that I don't like women still, like, she's like, I obviously do. I like people of all genders, but this was the decision that was like right for my heart and right for, like, I know he's someone who always has my back situation. So like, that's how this kind of like reminds me of our conversation with our former guest on episode 69 about the whole idea of, like, you know, they're married, but that doesn't, like, for them.
Yeah, Caleb and Melissa. Yeah, it's actually their anniversary today,
it is there, so shout out to them.
Yesterday when this drops, but happy anniversary.
Happy Annie. So definitely I feel like they had found a place that worked through, like, their differences in the relationship, but I guess it wasn't enough. We don't have real reasoning to why. Just know that, like, we got the official statement from, like, their rep being all like, you know, please respect this time, blah 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 blah. And then even
so what's the internet saying?
The internet is saying that, you know, well, first of all, Miley, there was pictures right after, like, that news actually dropped that showed Miley on her vacation, that people had already been starting rumors around that they were probably splitting up because she wasn't wearing her ring in the pictures. They saw pictures of her on a boat making out with Brody Jenner's recent ex-wife. Yeah. Her name is Caitlyn Carter, recent ex-wife. And so they were found, you know, her and Miley, Kissing. So, I mean, go for it, girls. You're both single now.
That's ridiculous. Like,
I mean, people are saying, you know, there was a tweet.
Who is the person that's waiting for her to take off her ring after, like, a year? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, like you were saying, like, I got it, dude. I'm the one. Like, it's like mining for gold or something like that, and you finally, or oil, and you found it. It's just like, that's so crazy. What a weird thing to discover.
No, well, it's just people notice that shit if you post a picture
on a boat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who would be like?
Well,
wait a second.
It was a picture of. She had a picture of just her where she wasn't wearing it, but
whatever.
Any oozles. So then, you know, people have been saying stuff because it's Miley kissing a girl, and people were all up in arms with them breaking up, and then trolls were blaming it on her, what they called bisexuality, though technically Miley identifies as pansexual, but saying, you know, that it was this Twitter user called Tiger Bob, and he said, in essence, the last part of his tweet was like, you know, bi is greedy and unsatisfied, and everything before in the tweet was saying how, of course, Liam and Miley broke up because Miley being bi is the reason why they broke up. They would never be able to stay together if she was bi, kind of deal. And so that's, like, you know, people were all up in arms about that. And Halsey, well-known bisexual artist, came out to retweet and defend Miley and being all like, hey, Tiger Bob, like, obviously you're the kind of guy that gets upset about this, because he had been tweeting about in the past Brie Larson, I believe, who I think is also known as being bi. They tweeted about, he had been tweeting about those different things as well as being, like, upsetting or whatever. And so she just was like, you know, being bisexual doesn't mean any of these things. And she stood up for her fellow sister about, you know, get out of someone's fucking business. Like, who gives a shit? Sexuality, you know, isn't the reason for that kind of stuff. And it just was.
I just wonder how, like, this type of stuff happened. Like, was it through, like, tabloids and stuff, like, back in, like, the 90s?
I don't know.
Like, how did this, like, this is so sad that, like, people care about any of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like that
someone, like, feels the need to, like, tweet, like, bi is unsatisfied and greedy, and that's why Miley Cyrus is, like, ruined her relationship.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
So all bi people are awful.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I understand caring about, like, you know, what's going on with them and stuff like that, but, like, to put that much, like, 2 cents into it is, like, so ridiculous.
Just, yeah.
It's just like, you have no idea who these people are. You know what I'm saying? You have no idea what's going on in their lives or what the hell happened. Like, it could have been completely, like, you know, we're gonna get into Bachelor in Paradise in a little bit, but I'm just saying, like, that's kind of like how I feel right now by watching the show. Is like, I can't even really assume too much because I feel stupid the next week when like a little more piece of the puzzle comes out and you're like, what?
I know,
like,
exactly.
You had it all figured out and stuff. And it's like, so these people think they know so much about like what's going on with like people. And it's like, you have no idea. Like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
So,
like, yeah. Don't try to, blame shit that you know nothing about for, people's relationships that you know nothing about them.
Right.
Like, you don't know anything.
What's it called? Was there more?
No, I think that you made a...
Well, yeah, let's just get into, that was, a good segue into Bachelor in Paradise. Another good week. Like, I wish it was on every night. Like, it's so good.
It's just so much TV.
Where do we start?
So, night one.
Okay. Lock in, guys. We're getting into it. I feel like our discussions, like, we're just like the first week, we're like really good around. Like, I feel like we have a pretty good grasp on what was going on, even though more news came out this week that has me even churning more about, like, you get another week of simmering with these people, and
you're just like, what are these decisions?
I know, but let's go.
So we start night one. We finally get to see technically like week one's rose ceremony, and baby,
there was a lot of funny parts of this episode, like just random funny, like, I don't know, like Jordan and Demi getting together and stuff. And
that was night two, bub.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, those type of things.
So you let me lead our timeline because you hop all over and back.
I only say that because I want to remember about like those funny parts of the show.
I remember it.
All right,
though.
You'll remember all that. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Let's go.
I remember.
All right.
And plus you'll say stuff, but if I cue you up for the right time.
Okay, cool.
But anyways, Bibby, who needs to just go work on herself, Jane, who's annoying as hell, and Annalise, who's always so confident for absolutely no reason.
I know, that's funny. You know what's funny though is like if we were to make like 3 predictions of people going home, I feel like last week we would have said those 3.
Yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Lane has Lane. I don't even care about her name.
Apparently, that was not even her name when she was on the show.
No, it was. Well, technically, I remember her thing from the show. It was said Aubrey quotes Jane. Whatever. That was like from the actual like ABC cast listing.
What was she? And why is this hot sauce thing just coming on? Like,
I don't know, because she literally was like, she was there night one. That was it. She was a night one girl. Like, I don't even.
When Annalise went home, like, I kind of liked it.
I cheered. I cheered.
She was so confident.
She was so annoying. My thing is like, she is like a 34-year-old woman who is like bringing these petty ass fights and petty ass whatever to all this, and like, let's just not forget she's afraid of birds, she's afraid of bumper cars, she's afraid of literally, like, she makes no sense. She's annoying, she's high maintenance.
Right. I mean, I don't want to hate on her too much, but she's definitely a type of person that, like, off the bat, like, I think Annalise is hot. Like, I would, if without knowing her personality, just like based off looks alone, like, it would be like, I would be all about
swipe
it.
right.
Right. Damn it, you almost made me remember what I wanted to talk about, but hopefully I can like think about it. But
you could always write it down.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember even what I was thinking. But Annalise, so she's like 34, but like, she is definitely like, she's the type of girl that you get to know, and it doesn't matter how pretty she is, because like, you just can't be around it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You like just can't stand it.
It's like a kid at Toys R Us. I just can't be around it. So I mean, so yeah, I mean, when she went home, it was just funny because like all what's her name did was like, hey, what's up, to the other guy, and he was like, you. And he gave his rose to Christina.
Yeah, they talked like one time.
She was all like, hey, okay. And then he gave her a rose there. I mean, he probably knew Annalise wasn't going to be a good choice. No. She was already doing like the prescription stuff, like 6 kisses prescription. Yeah. That's what you'll need.
I know.
Yeah. Anyways.
I can't. Whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, so this means now the girls are in charge this week. They give out the roses. That means we're going to be seeing some more mans coming through the door.
Yes.
So, Jordan, our man's Jordan.
I love Jordan.
I
always liked him.
And he's back with a vengeance because he's like, this is my beach, bitches. Like, I run this show.
I like him.
Blah, blah.
Last season when he was on Bachelor in Paradise, he got engaged and stuff. Like, he was all about it. He was like,
Yeah, I didn't hate him last season. I feel like this season he's a little bit more obnoxious, which has been a breath of fresh air in some sense. In some instances, I feel like I liked it this episode, and then it became too much for the night 2 of this week. That will lead into next week.
I don't think. I mean, he might have crossed the line, but I think.
I think we'll talk more about it.
Yeah.
But any hoozles, he comes in. And he pretty much, is pulling all the girls to talk to them because he has a date card. And he learns the whole, Blake drama.
Dude, that was funny. Thank you. Okay, so you are reminding me of the little thing. So, he thinks he has it, and then he, goes and talks to another girl, and they're like, wait a second, Christina too? He's just, so shocked. He's like, what?
And then he said his line, which I loved. He's all like, Blake is putting his spoon in all the pudding.
He's so serious, too.
He meant that. He wasn't saying that sarcastically. He meant that.
Even if he's trying to be funny, he commits so hard to it that it's just he's. I don't even know. The people behind the camera must be cracking up at him all day.
I love it.
I love it.
Anywho,
so he's here,
but he decides to take Nicole on a date, which kind of makes.
Well, that's after he asked Hannah G.
He asked Hannah G.
Yeah. Who also said he was cute, which was.
She was super into him in her little confessional when he came in.
But she has a lot in her head right now that will probably unwind in a little bit here. So.
Yeah. So she originally says yes to the date card, and then thinks about it and realizes that she's got too much going on with balancing just Blake and Dylan, who would do anything for her, and Blake, who is just not even worth the time. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But
we get it now, but we didn't get it then.
I mean, I don't really get it. I mean, yeah, but I don't get the attraction.
So Nicole's this is date number 2.
This is date number 2, one-on-one date. She never even got a one-on-one on her season of The Bachelor, but here she goes. And so she goes with Jordan. They have a good time. Clay's not really super worried, especially after he hangs out with her after the date. But I
thought there was some connection there.
Yeah.
With Nicole and Jordan.
Yeah, for real. There was. I mean, she says that.
Yeah. So they get back, and what happens? What's next?
Well, I don't know which next we're doing. I guess. Well, we're gonna go to Mike comes on, or did you have something before that?
No, Mike comes on. It's hard to talk about this stuff in 2 nights. For
it's
me.
so much. I know. Well, because you blend this stuff together, I have to remember it in nights.
I for me, I'm wow, there's so much to happen, but there's just really, let's get to the point.
There isn't.
It's
honestly,
hard to recap
there's 2 hours where a lot of it is nothing.
Right.
And trying to recap where you're because that's where I feel I start to blend because I'm oh wait, that is next episode. Why didn't it just happen sooner?
Well, all right. So that's how fast things can change. 1 week somebody could look like they're having the worst week ever, and the next week, Kaylin is now becoming the hot commodity of the girls. So it's they just had to wait.
Nicole was starting to become the hot commodity.
Well, I'll just say Kaylin's
not that hot a commodity. I mean, she rushed into Cam's arms just because she needed someone to give her a rose.
No, I'm saying now this week, Mike comes in and asks Kaylin on a date.
So I wouldn't call her a hot commodity.
Well, I mean, by the end of this week, she was asked just one less time than Nicole. That's out of all the girls, it's
I mean, well, that was just
best.
She was only.
And those are 2 of the best guys in the franchise right now is Mike and Dean. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but that means that would make her a hot commodity.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I was talking about this episode only, so that's why I was thinking.
Mike is one a Blake, a Dean, right now, except he gets kind of taken back a couple notches by the next episode, which is ooh, that's the best part about the Bachelor in Paradise to me is when they do bring on people like the Blakes and the Mikes. Even though Mike is a good guy.
Okay, Mike's a good guy. I can't even put Mike in the same category as Blake.
No. They're in the category of potential bachelors, there's a group of guys, whether they're bad or good.
I see.
They're the guys that the girls talk about internet buzzes about.
No one. I don't know who liked Blake that much when he was actually on the show.
It was him and Jason. It was those two were the hot boys from their season.
They liked them together. They liked their bromance.
Right, and that's why Blake is probably on this show is because Jason ended up dating Kristen. What's her name? Caitlin Bristow, and I always call her Kristen because of her last name, but I'm Bristow, Kristen. But yeah, anyways, so they were the hot boys from their season, and now he's kind of the solo bro, And
Solo Dolo.
I mean, essentially, he's like doing exactly kind of what Dean was trying to do, like when he was first on here. So it's just very interesting that like both Christina and Kaylin are just attracted to the same type of girl. And that's actually what I think I was going to talk about as a main topic now. Mini main topic.
Mini main topic.
Could come out of nowhere. Whoa! I think that's gonna be part of the thing. Could come out of nowhere. Whoa! Yeah. So the mini main topic would be like we've talked briefly on it, but like going for your type.
Oh yeah.
And so this is the biggest issue. That's why I love watching the Bachelor in Paradise or like Are You the One, because those are the shows that it really shows that you shouldn't go for your type. When it's like
or
one
you
person
just shouldn't even have a fucking type.
Right. Like I mean, I was gonna ask you, do you think I have a type?
Yeah.
You do?
A little bit.
I mean,
you actually have like, I think you have like kind of subgroups.
Oh, what? Hold on a second. What?
There's like definitely like there's like certain times that you'll go after a certain type of girl.
Hold on a second. I got seasons.
Kind of.
This is just funny to hear because like I really don't have a type, like I don't think, but
you can't. I mean, like
the type of girls I'm going for. Just think about any of the girls you see me with, and like try to like see how there's like any similarities.
No, but I'm saying that there's subgroups. So like, okay. There's a subgroup that's definitely like you like girls like Demi or other people who are like younger looking, smaller, that kind of body type. You go after a lot of girls, mostly blondes. That's like that subgroup.
Okay.
Then you've got a subgroup where you like kind of more women of color, and they have to have big booties. That's your other subgroup. But like you kind of like you only like will kind of like you'll only kind of switch between people like these are just different types of. I'm like no, it's very kind of specific, and you'll switch between them.
That makes me not have a type though, right?
No, because it's like only two, like,
but I feel like the
specifics.
subgroup. Well, I mean, hold on. So, what are you talking about? The second group, like, hold on. That sounds like a lot. It's a big group.
No, because I wish there was even I'm trying to think of a better way to explain it because it still is kind of within one vein. I can't think of it, but like, it's a thing. Like,
oh my god. Wow. Anyways, I always thought of myself as not having a type.
Do you think I have a type?
No, that's what I was saying. I think me and you are very similar in that. Like, we kind of like date different types of people. We like to see different types of people and what they have to offer, which I think in the dating world is not like a big thing. Like, you know, you say you dated like an Indian dude when you're like 14 years old, and then from then on, like you don't mind dating brown dudes. Like you're actually giving other people chances that like other white girls would be like, hell no, I would never. You know, so that's why I think like dating apps are kind of racist. But listen,
oh, they're totally racist.
Yeah, dude, that's like another thing I want to get on. But yeah, so when I think about that stuff, or like the Kardashians, like, you know, like the first one gets a black guy, and then the second one needs a black guy, and then all of them need black guys. Like, it's just like kind of like put inside of you, like you kind of get a type, you know what I'm saying, especially if you're prone to types and stuff. But you know, for me, I feel like I've never, like, it's not about being skinny, or like I like thick girls. Like, it's like more it's like, yeah, the booty thing is probably like my thing. Like, you don't really have to have big boobs or anything like that. Boobs are welcome, but I feel like
if any female listeners are applying,
or you want to nominate someone,
boobs welcome.
Nominate someone on FutureBachelor.nominate. But
he starts making a new.
It's like the page is done. Squarespace.
Making a new Gmail
building a new
now.
future for all your ad. Speaking of which, you might start hearing ads on this show. Things are blowing up. But
I can't wait.
Side notes.
Only if I can like voice the ad.
Okay. I think we do them like funny, where we like read off a script but like go off script.
No.
Like,
I have plenty of good ad examples.
Okay. Anywho, but yeah. So I think like you know, that's with going back to Bachelor in Paradise and types and stuff. These girls are just like, they have a type, and it's like they're and it's almost pathetic.
It a lot.
It's just pathetic to see them go for. Dude, the way I break down The Bachelor sometimes is like, it's kind of crazy. But like, you know how like, you know, you have the veterans, and then you have the noob, like the fresh meat.
Noobs. Yeah.
Newbies. It's kind of crazy that they're all in the same world, like a Bachelor Nation, but like the newbies will look at the veterans, like even if it's just like last year, as like stars. So it's like, it's weird. Like,
yeah, they're like, oh my god.
When you when you call it incestual last year or last episode, it was like it is kind of what it is. It's like this weird.
It is sort of incesty because it's like being you're like fans of other people, like almost in your family, because it's like your family, like they're like a family of like a celeb fam,
right? It's like you know, someone marries your cousin, now you're kind of like family or something like that. Like,
yeah,
you're not like, and you wouldn't like hook up with like their siblings or anything.
No, it'd be weird.
Right. But right, it's kind of like that though. Like now you're family, but it is weird that you're like hooking up with each other, because it's like this ecosystem of like, are you guys like brother and sister, family, but obviously not. That's not the case.
No,
well. There's no brothers and sisters on this island yet.
No, I mean, yeah, no, there used to always be the twins. They're the only sisters.
I was just talking about that when they brought Ashley I and they brought her sister. Do you remember that? To Bachelor in Paradise, and it's like if they brought her sister, who was never even on the show. Like,
no, did they really?
I swear they brought her sister Lauren. And like Lauren didn't want to be there because she actually kind of had like a boyfriend back home or something like that.
Did they really do that?
Yeah, and it's like they had like, it was kind of like when they brought the twins on. It's like if one twin goes like.
That was weird that they did. The twins were like a double cancellation.
That's what they did with Ashley I and her sister. But
wow.
Yeah, so I mean they do weird stuff where like I feel like they're about to do something random like that, where they're gonna bring Demi's girlfriend in, like who's not even on the show, and she's gonna now be on the show.
That seems weird.
But they bring her into canon. It's like they're not even really on the show, but because you're now on Bachelor in Paradise, you are part of the show.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we kind of got off on a tangent there.
Oh,
but
I remember when she was on. Now I'm looking at her pictures.
I think she ended up going home or something like
that.
But,
weird.
But yeah, so...
Wow. Anyway, so let's just, Cam... So Kaylin goes with Mike. Cam was
just
creepy
crying on the
and
beach.
crying because he was all like, he's like, I'm gonna get married. I had only 2 calls planned, like one to my family to tell him engaged, one to the fiance's family to get their blessing.
Yeah, he's talking crazy and stuff. But
he's nuts.
I feel like they're making him look a lot crazy. Like, think about it. If you were out there and you like went to take time to contemplate and just kind of like, be sad.
Okay, like they're doing like funny things with the B-roll now of like showing him like just like kicking rocks and like laying on like daybed sad. But like, I mean, there's he's aggressive. Like it has no chill. That he really thought that like him and Kaylin had some huge connection, like when they literally had nothing.
Right.
But anyways.
So that kind of ends the first night. I mean, how does that first night end? Just like.
That kind of ends like that. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Like, it's really.
Well, it starts back up with like Taisha being like, yo, what the hell is going on with Hannah G?
Yeah,
and everyone's asking, like, there's something weird that we're all missing here. Like,
especially because so this was after there was like the kind of the big blow up of the Blake versus Dylan situation, because Dylan went to go confront Blake when he was like doing his stunner move, his spin around,
God,
whatever.
I hate that stupid
I hate
move.
that shit. Also, like they showed the whole B-roll of when even Jordan was hating on him, of just him doing stupid dance moves, which I was like, how is anybody still attracted to Blake? Like, he looks stupid.
No, for real. I mean, that move is stupid. The whole like twisting.
Whenever a guy, like when there's ever been a guy who's like tried to do that to me to like woo me, I'm like, really? I'm like, is that what you're gonna twirl? Oh, you're gonna twirl? Oh,
no.
Whatever.
And it looks forceful too. Like he's just like pushing her around.
And she's like,
But anyways, it started the move of like going over when you want to like get the girl to come back with you and stuff, and the guys keep like coming back by themselves. Dylan shouldn't have gone over there, and they keep hyping him up too. Like, you should go over there. That's your girl. Go get your girl from Blake. And he goes over there and he's like, yo, can I talk to you for like 5 minutes or whatever? And Blake's like, dude, you've had her like all day. Come on. I'm like, I'm just trying to.
And he's like, and Blake then I didn't like, because Blake then was talking for Hannah and was being like, no, man, she doesn't want to go.
Well, that's what happens every time this situation happens. First of all, like the girls are not doing that to the guys, and right at the moment, but it's just weird. It's weird that the guys are like, well, let her decide.
Well, I'd rather her like actually be like, well, like
I think the girl should just walk away in those moments.
Well,
like,
I think Nicole almost tried to when that happened between her and Christian, which is
I don't
later.
know. I feel like she liked it.
She might have, but she almost walked away. Hannah liked it because Hannah didn't have to do anything, because she's just like, oh, what? Like Hannah is like pretending like she has no play in anything, but like Blake came.
That's why I think Taisha had a good.
She had a good point.
Yeah.
Taisha approached her because they found out that Blake said something about it. How because he's like being like, I'm all in for Hannah. He said how he visited her the week before they went on the show in Alabama, and they like went on a little date and kissed. Yeah. And so then, you know, Tayshia finds that out, and goes.
I don't even know what that means anymore. Like, went on a date and kiss. Like,
I mean, but
that was it. He flew all the way out there just to kiss her.
Yeah, but I think it comes down to like yeah. But I mean, for this, it's like when it comes down to like the weight that holds is like she didn't tell Dylan, and that is like
right. The weight that it holds is like she didn't tell Dylan, and that means like when. Everyone was like, she's definitely picking you, like on that first day, and then he picked Taisha. That has a lot of weight to it. That means that he was like picking Taisha over Hannah G, who he just went out and flew out to. And, so, like, and then that's when Hannah G like uses that, like she's mad at him to just throw herself at Dylan. So it's like, does she even really like Dylan, or is she just using Dylan like as like a space holder until Blake comes around?
Which like now Blake's come around, but like then like she's dragged poor Dylan into it, where like he didn't need to be dragged into a situation that, you know,
which goes back to her character, which is like you can't play that innocent. Like,
yeah, and so Tayshia kind of like addresses it.
Honestly, that's kind of what Blake was trying to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Try to play innocent, like with like twisting up your little web and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. He wanted to try to like he wants to try to just have all of his cake and eat it too. Mm-hmm. And like he's got so like, you know, Hannah G's being compliant right now because like she just, you know, said whatever that they met up, but like she's being before then she was like being much like, I thought it was a private thing. Kaylin wasn't gonna like, you know, let her situation and her feelings and like kind of him whatever I mean there's obviously.
Dude, do you think there's like a role reversal here of like slut shaming? Like I feel like for some reason like Hannah's like able to get away with it this season, and then Blake's doing like the same type of like thing, and like Hannah's like getting away with it and Blake's not at all.
Well, it's kind of like...
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I think that's even what like Tayshia was trying to bring up. She's like, okay, wait a second. I think that was like kind of what they were starting to notice because they're like, okay, so Blake got whatever, but like it's not like Hannah G's doing something similar. Hannah G, like I feel like the cast is actually kind of noticing that. I think, but they're obviously how they're playing it out for us is as viewers, they're going to make it so it's more of a like machismo thing where it's like, let's show these guys getting mad instead of actually showing like where it's like Hannah is like definitely not like innocent. She's been, especially like when she tries to pretend like she's teary in the one moment and she's like, I just think I'm trying to doing the best I can, making the best decisions for like to not hurt anybody. I'm like, okay, are you?
You could tell a lot about a person by the way, or from these shows by the way they react to confrontation. Like when Annalise was had confronted Clay about the whole, she like went back and reacted like completely oblivious to the actual situation. She was like, it was like fighting with like 10 ex-boyfriends. It's like, well, wait a second, that's bullshit. You're just in your head about something because you've made it, built it up. Like your reaction to it is not like warranted. And when Hannah G did the same way she reacted to Taisha, she was like, she just like mean girled me. It was like, no, she wasn't.
No, she didn't.
That shows a lot about like Hannah G. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Taisha like came at her and was still like, she was upset, but like she approached her about it. Like, you know, you don't see anything wrong with that. And that's where Blake was falling short. Like he didn't see anything wrong with it. He was just trying to act innocent, and you can, but you know, to the majority of people, you look like you're just like,
and I think
ignoring what the issue is.
Yeah. I think Hannah's getting by from being mostly mute and just like, you know, those big doe eyes. I think but like where Blake was, you know.
Yeah, she looks like she's gonna cry every second.
Yeah, so I think, but
Dean comes in.
Dean
and his stash.
Okay, it's so funny.
I mean, he's been living out of a van.
He's been living out of a van. It's kind of funny because they showed the clips from last season where he was like, Christina's so deep and precise and intelligent, but D'Lo's so fucking hot. And that's who he chooses, which just shows like how he was such a dumb idiot then. And now he's back. And, you know, he's older, he's wiser, he has a stupid mustache. And I almost have hope for him again. He seems like more like he's like very self-deprecating.
He seems happy, but he also seems like he's in the mode of self
promotion.
Self
deprecating, which I was just saying.
Beneficial.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Not in like a malicious way, but like in a way that like if you get in the way of that, you're going to become a victim of it.
Like my
like
thing
Kaylin
is
is only going to get hurt from this and not like they're going to end up dating.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, yeah.
She's a puppy for Dean already.
She's a puppy for
Even though she's being reserved because she knows like she's like, am I just going to fall for this again for just another dude? Like,
yeah. I mean, like, but Dean obviously, like, my thing is like, Dean's been a vagabond. Like, is he really looking to like settle down with any girl? Is he just like, well, it would be nice to go to a beach and like have some showers?
Well, the way he explained it, yeah, the way he explained it, it's definitely for self-promotion, like so he can continue paying for his lifestyle because he's just like living it up right now, doing everything extreme, like walking like on the side of mountains and jumping out of
getting a lot of really stupid looking tattoos.
Yeah, just like droning everything. But yeah, so essentially, you know, he's just on there to continue his like, you know, face in the media for a little bit more, I feel. And you know, he kind of comes in there with good energy though. Like I do like his energy, and it's he
knows he like fucked up, and he also like.
But I don't think anyone ever really like came down on him like they came down on Blake. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, there was a lot of hate for him.
Yeah, but
like the fans, especially because like he went from being a fan, like everybody loved Dean. People kind of wanted Dean to be the next Bachelor.
We talked about it for like
Dean was like pretty much like Mike level.
Yeah, but he's like way better looking than Blake. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why.
Yeah, way better looking than Blake.
So that's how he can get away with it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. All right, so it starts off with I think like also Christina like kind of like Kaylin says it's like slut shaming her, and which is like to me it is kind of fucked up. Like Christina, who does she think she is?
I know,
like,
especially like she's sitting right next to Kaylin
thing, like,
at the bar, and like was kind of making it like more of like and then you know Blake hooked up with Kaylin, and Kaylin had this whole whatever blah, and like she's just like saying like I don't know. I feel like that whole story like Blake and Kaylin made their peace, like they went their separate ways on the show. Like Kaylin's like trying to be like I don't understand what Hannah G sees or like whatever, but like she's not actively like doing anything to fuck up Blake's life anymore, and Blake isn't doing anything to like purposely fuck up hers. Like they've gone whatever. Where was I going with that?
Christina.
Where Christina just like is continuing like rehashing that story and the whole like everybody with Blake thing, which like we all get it, we're all over it. Like right now everybody cares about like just making sure that Hannah G doesn't like break poor Dylan's heart. Mm-hmm. So like I don't know why Christina feels the need to like keep spreading that, and she does keep like putting it in the like I mean like Kaylin, you know,
well, I think what it is that like another cool part about the show, the human experiment part, is that like just because you're like might be the it girl or the hot boy, the hot girl on the beach this summer, like your Blakes or your Christinas or Kaylins, that doesn't mean you're gonna not go through bad time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your Deans, like almost like you get caught up in your own shit so much, and you know, like Christina could never, like I'm surprised, well, I'm just saying, like you see, like it's really awkward when, like at the end, like when Kaylin was making out with Cam to get a rose, when Christina got the rose from old homeboy or whatever, and you know, it's like they know they can do that. But it's like they would never, like there was a scene where like I think she was talking to JPJ, she's like, or somebody, and it was like her and Cam, and the three of them, they're like, yeah, you know, out there having what is it, twosomes or something.
Oh yeah, like there's a pair, and then here's a whatever.
Twosome, and then it was like Cam on the ground, there was like, oh, and Cam, like you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's how it actually is, though. Like Christina would never, like, you know, unless she's just using him for a rose. But that means also that they're putting themselves in a corner where they're not opening their hearts actually for love. It goes all the way back to having a type. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the most successful relationships, like coming out of like Bachelor in Paradise, are ones that like what is the one that just came out? Like they just had kids, Carly and
Carly and Evan. Like
they're like complete opposites.
Yeah,
like, you know
and like she hated him. Like she hated like their first date.
He was so like he was kind of cammy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
She wasn't like going for him at all. And then like for some reason, like she then like, you know, opened her heart.
Right. And that's where like they're falling short. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're really going to go on these shows, you have to go with an open heart.
And they all say open so many fucking times on this show. You would think they would actually practice what they preach, but god damn, they don't. Anywho.
But yeah, so
Christian also comes on, and then
Dean takes Kaylin out on a date.
Yeah, and they have a great time, and they're like attached at the hip.
Oh my god. I mean, it's too easy with Dean. Like Dean like literally is like old school Johnny Depp coming in there and just like, you know, taking anything he wants. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he could have asked anybody and everybody would have been Hannah G. Like,
they were all excited. They were all like, hello.
Right. So good for Kaylin. Like, at least she's like, you know, on the come up there, you know? So she's 2 for 2 with Nicole until Christian comes in. And I am not a fan of this guy.
I'm not a fan of this guy either. I
thought you would hate him.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely like old school Latin machismo. Definitely like trying to play.
If he wasn't Latin, he was doing the same thing.
I mean, I still hate him. Yeah, it's still the same principles applied. Like, it's still like a whole idea of like, this is like a hyper masculine. I get what I want. I'm gonna be smooth. You can't, like, this is my woman. This is my thing. Like, nobody can touch it.
Right. I mean, good looking guy, I guess, but like, you know, him and Nicole. I think he went with the easy route for him. Like,
yeah,
you know
he's like a Latin girl, Cuban girl, like blah, blah, blah.
Right. All he has to do is make it on to the next, like if he makes it on to the next, you know, past the set rows, which I don't think he will. But if he did, he dropped Nicole in a second. They would love to see him flip onto another girl. Like, that's the whole point of the show, is seeing people
throw
flip.
Someone else down the stairs who's like hot enough for him, whatever.
Right. And so essentially, you know, on their date, you know, it seemed like, you know, fireworks or whatever like that. But she also mentioned like everything was like a sexual innuendo.
Yeah.
Like, he was just like always winking and like kind of like, you know, making it that. And when they get back, like, you know, Clay asked for some time with her and stuff.
Yeah, because like she still has a good connection with Clay. She had a good connection with Jordan. She even like brings it up, like, you know, like,
right.
I have connections.
Yeah, and so they're talking like on one of those beach beds or whatever, and out of nowhere, like, what happened? Like, Christian just came up and...
Christian comes up and he was trying to like say that he needed to like finish his date with her, like, you know, he wanted to finish his day out and like trying to make it like almost like a rules thing, like, well, you know, it's my day with her, like, and then Clay's like, there isn't rules, like, you've been with her like for the date, like, that doesn't mean you have to keep hanging out with her now, like, I wanted to have, like, you got her all day, whatever.
Right.
And like they're going at it kind of like similar to like when Dylan and Blake went at it, just like talking and like kind of leaving the poor girl sitting there like being like, ah. And Hannah, like, not Hannah, Nicole kind of like, she was like starting to like kind of move, she didn't know what she wanted to do. And Clay was better about it because Clay's like, I don't want to put her into a position where she feels like she has to choose, like, this isn't fair. And then, you know, Christian was all like, well, why don't we just let her decide? Why don't we just whatever? And it's like, nobody should be in these situations where it's like, you know, putting them into like, but Nicole didn't like really speak up either, but I don't know how I would react.
Ultimatums.
Like, yeah. So that was that, and that kind of started the little bit of tension between them, but Clay is like such a bigger, better guy that he's like, well, whatever. And then you know, the next night it's during the cocktail party and Christian sets up this whole like piñata situation and invites Nicole over, and like Clay's joking with the other guys being like, oh, maybe I should like go over and like interrupt and like grab her back for some time and like whatever, but like he's more joking. He's like, you know, I've had some time to talk to her, but like maybe I'll do that, kind of give him a taste of his own medicine, and plus I do want to talk to her some more. And like Jordan, and like so he goes over and does it, and then they kind of Nicole actually speaks up in this situation, and she's all like, you know, like, let me finish up my time with him, I'll come talk to you after, Clay, and like, you know, no worries. And then Clay comes back and like Jordan gets all kind of riled up about it. He's like, you came back, like, why didn't you get your time, man? Like, no, like, this isn't fair. Like, Christian shouldn't be like treating Nicole like she's someone that he owns. And so then Jordan gets into his gears. This is like when his obnoxiousness is like too high, where I'm like, okay, like, where he then goes over and like tries to be like, hey man, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to take down this little thing. And then
that's his thing, like throwing things into the ocean.
Yeah, I know. And then so he tries to pull it down and Christian's not having it, and they start a scuffle.
Yeah,
that will be continued.
That scuffle, dude, I was pretty surprised because it looked like Jordan like got the upper hand like in that last frame before they cut. He like body slammed Christian. I was not expecting that.
I know, they're about the same size, so like they look pretty similar builds. Like, I don't know who could win this. So, but
I mean, for the fact that Christian was trying to go after Clay, I was thinking like Christian.
That's the thing. Like, that's what even everybody on the beach was all like, Clay would fucking destroy him.
Right. Yeah, I think this is gonna be what sends Christian home.
Yeah.
It might even send Jordan home too.
It might. I mean,
because like there hasn't really been a situation on the show where people have gotten into physical altercation yet. And usually on these reality shows, you hit somebody, you go home. Like that's just like the #1 rule of reality TV. So, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Another little thing that snuck in there was JPJ being the new age Romeo.
I know.
Taisha.
He wrote a whole little Shakespearean thing for Taisha.
And he was like memorizing it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's he's a different one. I respect it. So, and you know, the fact that I think Taisha is one of the most beautiful girls there
she's
too.
so pretty.
And
she knows it.
Yeah, she's hot. So next week is going to be another fiery week of Bachelor in Paradise. I love it. Why don't we just get into our slapper of the week? Yeah,
let's just do it.
Yeah. This week we got this one actually got me in my feels the first time I listened to it. Like I think I read an article on it and I was like, oh shit. So I listened to it again and I was like, dude, this is too deep.
The lyrics are very relatable because
you wouldn't think like such a poppy song would be so deep. Like if you get over the corniness of it, kind of like it's actually. I don't
think it's corny, but it's just like it's bubblegummy.
Yeah, that's what I mean by corny. But
it's sugary sweet.
Yeah, but if you get over it and you listen to the concept of it, it's called Small Talk and it's by Katy Perry. I believe Charlie Puth actually like co-produced and wrote this song, so it's like we're on a roll with him. He's
everywhere. I mean,
right. He's one of my faves. We're gonna see him here in like a month. So
yeah.
So why don't we just get into it? Small Talk by Katy Perry. We'll talk about it more after it. So let's go.
Isn't it strange? The slapper of the week.
This song slaps.
Isn't it strange? They used to know
slapper.
Me. All the highs and lows and in betweens, and now you see me just
blah 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 blah. But Small Talk by Katy Perry. Slapper of the week.
That song slaps.
You know, it's just weird that like that song makes me sad. It's a sad thing about life. Like it's almost like it's like death, like, you know what I'm saying, you live to die type thing. It's kind of morbid.
It's like the death of a part of you, like part of your life. I mean, like a relationship.
When you put it like you literally didn't know this person, you know everything about this person, to have to go back to just being like acting like we don't know like things about each other, and even though we like change and stuff, like
eventually like you won't know as much about them, but like where it's at,
that's probably where you could maybe be friends again or something like that. But it's just like one of those things about life that just like, I don't know. That's when I start getting my feelings when I think about life in those terms.
Yeah. Shit. We're both staring off into the distance.
We've been doing those a lot lately.
YouTube users can just see us kind of both like staring down, like not looking up, not looking at each other.
Just take a breath. No eye contact. But anyways, why don't we get into some shout outs? I got a lot to get through.
I only have one. I wanted to shout out my friend Hannah Bean and Cop. She is the queen of playlists. She has all of us in her little Mizzou group text. Like there's 9 of us. Submit a couple of songs we've been listening to a lot. She refreshes these playlists every 2 weeks, where she like goes through and she like actually sets up the order. So it's like the best like, because these playlists are wild. They're like 12 songs, but they're all over the board. And she does them, so she transitions them like so perfectly well. Like I don't know how she does it, but it's like incredible.
What do you mean? Does she like it's on Spotify?
Like she creates it where she like the songs that go into each other, even though like it could be like a Bee Gees song going into like a Sweetie song, it works.
Like it's on beat and stuff.
Well, it just like
blends. She's just good at mixing, putting up together
they're just. But like I mean, crafting a 12 out of like 8 of us saying 4 songs each probably, and she picks the right ones.
See.
And she does this every 2 weeks.
That's a really cool idea. Except like sometimes like I feel like most people like my music. I just don't like other people's music.
No, see,
like everyone's always like at the party, like, yo, Psy, plug in. Like, you know, that's always like me. They always want me to play the music because first of all, like, we curate it each week. Like we literally have like a playlist where we have a great
playlist. It's called Future Bachelor Podcast Playlist.
And
when you on the spotter,
it's got a whole bunch of mix of new and old songs. So it's like that's cool. Well, shout out to Hannah. Let me get through some of my shout outs here. I'm gonna just give one shout out, air horn at the end of them all. But let's start with
I don't think anyone's complaining about less air horns.
Okay, here we go. Shout out to I don't know, maybe I gotta do the air horn. It just doesn't feel right without it.
You didn't do it for mine, so you could
I did right at the beginning.
No, you didn't.
You'll hear it back. I'll put a bet on it. All right, here we go. So I want to shout out Caroline and Autumn. Caroline and Autumn were like the two girls that I like got to sit down with at the Bachelor casting call.
Yeah.
And fill out our paperwork with, and we follow each other on Instagram. We like stay in touch and stuff a little bit. So I just want to shout them out. You know, it was really nice to meet you guys. Also, I wanted to shout out my girl Diana. She actually, I met her at a party, but she trains with Caleb too at the training room and stuff. But she's really funny, and she loves Bachelor in Paradise. So we'll be like texting each other or like DMing each other about like the show and stuff. So I'd like to have her on here as a guest one day.
That'd be fun
to like talk about it and stuff. So shout out to her. Wanted to say happy birthday to my girl Anna Tipton. She is a fan of pretty much everything I do. She's just an awesome person, and that's really cool.
That's what makes her a great person, because she likes all the shit I do. Forget about her and her interests in life.
No, I mean, her interests are awesome as well, but like it definitely puts you to the top of my list if you like the things I do. So no, she's just really nice, and she's super supportive. So shout out to her. She's like taking pictures of our stickers out and about.
Oh,
so
okay.
I've retweeted and stuff. So she is actually a good supporter. So shout out to her. Let's see. Happy birthday to Jordan, our old kickball partner, Jordan Olson. What's up? And then congrats and happy birthday to Vanessa on her birthday and getting her PhD. And then happy birthday to Tizzle. Happy belated birthday to Caleb. And happy anniversary to Caleb and Melissa.
We definitely shouted out Caleb for his birthday.
And then happy birthday to Melissa. Her birthday, I think, is on Friday. So
we also shouted her out, I thought.
It's a lot of shout outs, guys. So if you want to be a shout out, all you have to do is talk to us, and we can shout you out. Just let us know you listen to the show.
Yeah, do the good. Share our shit on your stories.
Right.
Give us a rating and a review.
And if you got, yeah, exactly. I was going to say, if you guys are right now like listening to the show, and you listen or somehow just subscribe. Push subscribe. That'd be amazing. And then if you write a review.
Tell your fucking friends.
If you guys write a review, I literally will call you and say I love you. That'd be amazing. But just tell me, and that'd be awesome. We are ordering more stickers.
Put your number in there.
Yeah,
and your social security number.
You know
it's
me.
fine.
Got my number. Next week, episode 74. Make sure you're here. It should be. We should got some stories. I think we're hanging out. What do you got? Any plans for this weekend? You here? You gone?
I think I'm here. I'm here for the next 2 weekends.
I'm planning on working on some music, but
planning on packing probably.
We are going out tomorrow night, so that should be fun.
We are.
Yeah, we are live at 5. So shout out to Sims for getting that together. He was like making sure I was gonna be there. He's texted me twice about it. So.
I know, because he was asking me. He's like, "Do you know?
Do you know?"
he's like, "I feel like Sai never comes," and I'm like, "Okay, well, he's been busy." I'm like, "I'm also not Sai's keeper."
Also, I would definitely come every time if I could, but I just been out of town on Thursday. So, well, shout out to all you guys. We love you. Shout out to everybody on YouTube that's watching us or wherever you're listening or just telling a friend or whatever. We love you guys. Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
My name's Veronica.
Oh.
I don't like that I copied you. I usually say, and I'm Veronica.
I know. My name is Veronica. It felt weird.
It felt wrong to me.
My name is Sai.
Can we
okay. Hold on a second. Let me make a sound effect to make sure we go back. So.
All right.
Guys, that's been episode 73. Next week, episode 74. This has been Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
And I'm Veronica.
Oh, thank God. That feels way better. You ever see those like videos where like they like will like mark her all the way down and then they will like scribble it at the end? Or like they're just like, you know, when things are not organized. That's how I felt about this. So
it felt, did you see my face when it came out of my mouth? I was like, whoa.
I feel like we ruined it again. So one second.
As long as episode.
This is Future Bachelor, guys. My name is Sai.
And I'm Veronica.
And we'll see you next week, all right? Deuces!
Bye!
Yeah, that was good.
Future Bachelor Podcast.